Hey guys, Mustang here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we're continuing our look back at some of the categories in the game that maybe need a little bit of help. I haven't had some buffs in a while. I'm kind of stretching the definition of that a little bit because, funnily enough, when I was putting together the Giant Form one for yesterday, this actually was a category I was looking at, and then when the video went up, I think it was the Giant Form video, or it might have been a comment that came later in the previous video, the Super Saiyan 3 one, somebody did actually mention this category as one that they would like to see looked at, and so yeah, you can see on the screen here we have the VEGETA'S family category, and this is a category that I do really like. You know, I'm on record as being much more of a Vegeta fan than Goku. And the team does have some really good units, but it always seems to be in like the Goku family team shadow, obviously because, you know, there are so many powerful Goku units, so many powerful versions of Goku. We've got some pretty good Gohans in the game now as well, whereas of course, you know, the Vegeta family for the most part is limited only to Vegeta and Trunks cards. Obviously there's the odd couple of exceptions here and there because, you know, we have a Bulla card, we have a Tarball card, whereas obviously Goku family we've got like a lot of Gotens as well, Chi-Chi, a couple of other units. But the big thing that sticks out, I think, about the Vegeta family is obviously the Super Saiyan 4s. Goku is considered to be way better than Vegeta. Vegeta can be good, like in Super Battle Road for example, as long as you're getting his 18 key super, he will tank normal attacks for double digit damage, you know, without an item active, which is really good. But if you can't get his 18 key super, then obviously he does suffer defensively. And of course, like the Goku family, there's a bunch of sub-leads, a couple of 130s, which is obviously a pretty decent stand-in. When we look at the LRs, this is where we kind of can see how the category is starting to age, because we can't include this Vegeta because we are kind of looking at it from a global perspective, but obviously he is a big addition once we get to the anniversary. But when we look at the LRs here, we've got two Prime Battle LRs that are yet to receive their EZA, so very outdated and hard to use in the current meta. Then we have two EZAs from the original meta, the original LR like set, the Trunks and the Majin Vegeta, who again, without their EZAs, very difficult to use in the current meta because they're not very good defensively. And then we have the Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta, who is one of my favourite LRs in the game, but to fully maximise his potential, you have to run him alongside a Goku unit. So obviously when it comes to building a team for Vegeta's family, you can't do that. So you look at all the LRs that they have available to them, and none of them are particularly top tier. And then when you look at like Goku family, you've got units like, you know, STRUI, Go Bros, like there's a lot of LRs on the Goku family team that are really good and still current meta like worthy. So when we go down, one of the things that stands out as well when we compare Vegeta family to Goku family is supports. Like Goku family has units like the High School Gohan, who's probably one of the best support units in the game. B-Pan, who, while not technically a support unit, kind of is with her active skill. Bardock and Guinea, of course, as well, have that same sort of thing where they're not really a support unit, but they have the active skill. And then, yeah, this team has kind of the physical Trunks, who is good, and we'll probably bring him on the team build, because obviously as long as you've got Vegeta family allies, he's really good. Obviously both teams have their base forms Xeno, Goku and Vegeta, who are specifically a family support unit, and then Vegeta's family kind of has like Bulla, who does provide good support, has a little bit of built-in dodge, but if she's not dodging, she's taking a ton of damage. And then of course this new Trunks is really good, but he only supports hybrid Saiyans as well. So we do have a couple of powerful units on here, a couple of powerful Dokkan Fests. I'm a big fan of the Super Saiyan 2 transforming Vegeta, so we are going to bring him along. So let's go ahead and jump into an actual event with a team that I've put together and go through what they can do. Okay, so here we are in the event. This is the team that I've put together. We are of course having to run the double Super Saiyan 4 leads. I did manage to find a rainbow friend. I was wondering if we were actually going to be able to find any Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta friends, and yeah, there was one guest who is rainbow, so very useful. So what we're going to be doing here, I've got to fix up the rotations, but we're going to be running the transforming Vegeta alongside Majin Vegeta, because obviously once he transforms into Majin Vegeta himself, they link up super well. And then we're going to be running one of the Super Saiyan 4 Vegetas, I guess the rainbow one, alongside the meme himself, the transforming Vegeta, And then we have the physical Trunks, and we have the Xeno Vegeta for support, as well as the floating Super Saiyan 4. So we don't have the best setup here to start with, but in fact we can't even get the... We're not going to be able to get the 18 key super with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. There's a big problem with this team for some of the units when it comes to links. Obviously that's going to be helped out a little bit by support. The Super Saiyan 4s, or the Super Saiyan 4, should I say, Vegeta, not necessarily fitting in super well with the rest of the team. Because obviously when you think about Goku family, a lot of the links that they will share across different units is things like All in the Family, Kamehameha, and Vegeta's family, obviously they have the Royal Lineage link, but a link that's very prevalent across a lot of Vegeta units is Saiyan Pride, which is a really good attack link, and a lot of the Vegeta units have it. And then not a lot of other links they necessarily share depending on the form. One of the things that's always been a little bit of an issue when we think of the Majin Vegeta units is the fact that for whatever reason, I mean I guess you could kind of say it makes sense because the control from Babidi doesn't last that long, I guess, but like the fact that they decided that all Majin Vegetas should have Over in a Flash, and he's an extreme unit. There's not a lot of extreme units that have Over in a Flash. It's basically Majin Vegeta's, Boo-Tank's, and then Full Power Frieza is kind of pretty much it. There's probably one or two other ones as well. Now obviously that can fit in okay on other like teams, you know, if you're bringing a bunch of other Saiyan type units that have Over in a Flash, but on the Vegeta family team, the only other real units that have Over in a Flash are the Super Saiyan 3 variations of Vegeta, and some of those are a little bit outdated now as well. Like STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is one of the best defensive units in the entire game, as long as the event that you're playing only lasts for 10 turns or less. Because once you get past those 10 turns and his passive runs out, he basically becomes completely useless. I mean, he's still got a 50% chance to stun, but he has the defense of a sheet of paper at that point. So Majin Vegeta, again, kind of a little bit awkward to fit into teams sometimes. So obviously the rotation of these guys together, at least once we get the Tech 1 to transform, is very, very powerful. Although I think we talked about this in the Super Saiyan 3 video when we talked about in Super Saiyan 2 Goku. You can get stuck into a situation kind of like we are now, where we've got that Vegeta off on the other rotation. We end up doing so much damage with our first rotation here that when we go on to the next turn, the enemy is not going to have enough HP to trigger Vegeta's transformation. So we need to get to a point where the enemy is being damaged by this turn and then not finished off by the next rotation, so that it comes back around to these guys to actually finish them off, and then Vegeta can transform. So we either need to get really lucky here and get some additional supers. The transforming Vegeta not looking too bad here, 2.1 on the attack, and then Trunks is a very good support unit as long as you have his full passive active, because he doesn't take huge amounts of damage compared to some other supports in the game. But again, the biggest sort of gripe with him, when you're thinking about the best support units on each of the categories, you know, think about that physical Trunks, but then compare him to the high school Gohan. And I mean, it really is no competition, unfortunately. Like, the high school Gohan is one of the best super type support units in the game, and of course is on the Goku family team. So I think what we might do here is, if we, on this next phase, maybe we'll deliberately try not to do too much damage here. Although, against Turles, we've got... I did remember to bring some items for rotation locking, because that is always the most irritating thing. So we will go ahead and do this. There's too many rainbow orbs. There you go. We can avoid a super with you. We do ideally want to get the super with you, just so we can make sure he doesn't get absolutely blasted, and then we'll go ahead and get this. But I mean, even this, you can kind of consider this to be a negative, and this does apply to the Goku as well. But the fact that we are now kind of like deliberately misplaying so that we can actually get the unit to transform, which is a little bit annoying. Sometimes you can get really lucky and you can go straight into an event and literally straight away you're going into a fresh fight against one of the new enemies. They're on rotation and so they transform. Or you get into this kind of situation where we've had to deliberately not do a lot of damage to him. But finally, we get the Tech Vegeta to transform. And now that he's transformed, linked up with this other Majin Vegeta, and we've got the support from Trunks on the rotation, we are going to see him pop off here, because we're able to get all the orbs to get all of his passive to activate, so he now is super effective against all types and guarding, and so he is going to put in some serious work on this turn, especially because we have type advantage as well. Mine is 90% full level 10 links, so yeah, 3.6 on the attack stat. Can we get a crit here as well? The old final flash here for 3 million damage, pretty decent. And then of course the STR Majin Vegeta, he is a nuker. We didn't pick up many orbs and we still got a very reasonable attack stat out of him. Unfortunately no crit, and then we take a type disadvantage super attack. But when it isn't a super attack, he's still tanking for double digits, which is pretty good. So yeah, not a very, very strong rotation. And then yeah, Trunks taking 24k. I remember before like the events got as difficult as they are now, because even with the Infinite Dragon Ball history stages, like some of them aren't that difficult, but obviously the defense has been ramping up over time. That Trunks was still very capable of just taking like double digit damage from a lot of the enemies, but unfortunately now he has dropped off a little bit. We're seeing him take pretty significant damage from normal attacks, and here you can see the issue with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So we take about 30k from a normal attack before supering, then we get the 18 key super off, decent attack stat from him, over 4 million, and then we take double digits. So you gotta be careful with where you place him in the rotation sometimes. And then transforming Vegeta, obviously when he's in his God form is probably when he's the most wonky for using on this team, because he's not going to share a lot of links outside of other like Super Saiyan God units. But we are going to get that one big nuke turn with the Super Saiyan Blue transformation, which is going to be on the next turn. And yeah, I'm very glad I bought these items, because Turles really trying to ruin my day here with the locking everyone in place. So go ahead and do this, and then Vegeta can finish him off here, because we don't need to worry about getting the orbs for the guard or super effective against all types, because we've already got type advantage here. So we'll go ahead, we'll play out this next turn, we'll get the big nuke from Vegeta and see how much damage we can do here. What enemy type are we fighting? If we're fighting an STR enemy, I'm going to be super disappointed. Hey, oh, perfect. Look at this. We got an in enemy, and we've got the support from the Trunks. There we go. So we get this one nice big turn where we change the entire field of orbs. In fact, let's go ahead. Let's do massive damage here. We'll fire off the active skill from Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Hit him with the final shine attack. And then we will go in with the massive nuke from Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. So with the support from Trunks, this is going to be... Oh, and it's the Dokkan attack as well. Okay, well. Yeah, see you later, Paragus. You're going down hard now in this turn. But, I mean, there you go. You can see the way the team works nowadays. It's still good. There's no way we're not going to complete this event. But, like, when you compare it to the Goku family category, it really does need some work. But obviously, compared to some of the other categories that we've covered in this series already, it definitely is much higher up in the tiers. Like, it doesn't need as much help as some of those other categories. And of course, the big thing to remember is that Dokkan is always going to be bringing out new Vegetas and new Trunkses. So this isn't a category that we have to worry about as much as some of the others. So this was kind of more of like a special episode, just because it did cross my mind when comparing this to Goku family, and like I said, it was mentioned in the comments of the previous video. So let me know what you think of the Vegeta family category, how it compares to Goku family. Let us know your favourite builds for the Vegeta family team down below, and of course let me know other categories you want to see me cover in this series as well. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.